What's going on, good people? My name is Brennon Keys. I'm sitting here with
Yano the Great.
Yes, sir. And we're going to start off our new podcast. We're calling it Show Me Sports. Keeping it simple. We want to talk about sports and culture with our Midwest flavor, our Midwest flair, you know what I mean? And just give our perspective on a couple of items that we see on a daily in the sports world and how that ties into what's going on in like hip hop and pop culture. And just give our perspective, our 2 cents. We see a lot of people doing it, but we don't, we wanted to offer our energy and our perspective.
Exactly.
We think we can do it a little
flavor,
different.
That energy that's not represented out there, talk about things that need to be said and heard and talked about, especially what's going on in the world today and what's going on and what's prominent. We can just, if we want to hop right in, we can just talk about what's going on with George Floyd. Just in the midst of what's going on top of that, we're in COVID-19, we're in quarantine, and we don't have any sports at all, period. But we're, as black men in this world, and we have to see one thing that is on TV is us getting killed right now, and George Floyd, and you got other people that's out there that's passed away. Forgive me that I can't remember everybody's names right now, but I know, shout out to their families, and my prayers and my condolences goes out to all of them and their losses.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Before we hop into all of those topics and touch on those things, we just want to give a little background of who we are. We know that as we try to build our audience and really speak from a different perspective that touches a certain segment of the population that, like Yano said, is not really represented well. I want to just let y'all know a little bit about who we are and where we're from. So you want to go first, or you want me to kick it off? I'll kick it off. I'll kick it off.
All right, get it started.
So like I said, man, my name is Brennon Keys, from St. Louis. The premise of the show is Show Me Sports. It's kind of representing the St. Louis area, but more so just the Midwest in general. My partner here is from Chicago, and from the South Side. You feel me? So we're speaking from the Midwest perspective. I can't really say how different we think or look at things from people in the South or on the East Coast, West Coast. But outside of that, just to be real, it's not a lot of black representation that we've seen, that we've found in the podcast space, particularly for sports. So we wanted to test the waters with that. Me personally, I'm from the Lou. Half my childhood in the city, half in the county, for those who know. I ended up going to high school in the county, went to college in Arkansas, met my wife down there.
Let me ask you, bro, what made you decide to go to Arkansas?
My church they do like HBCU tours every year. And
I forgot I ever asked you that. Like, what made you decide to go there? But it's dope that you decided to go to HBCU.
I did.
Well, on pause, since we're on the topic of HBCU.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard, but it's a really, really dope young high school athlete that's out there. His name Mikey Williams. Mm-hmm. I've been following the kid for a few years. I've already seen people past him at this point now. Speaking into the little guys coming up underneath him. But he's deciding on the HBCU, which is this is like huge. critical move, pivotal move, bro. Yeah. If he goes ahead and decides to go with one of these schools, but. Go ahead, I'm gonna shoot it back to you.
No, that's real. Like
insight on that. As somebody that went to one,
that's changing a lot. That can change the direction of a lot of dollars, advertising dollars, network dollars, stations like ESPN,
the black dollar, bro.
The black dollar. Absolutely. I think that with a lot of these states taking on new laws that allow players to profit while they're in school, while they're still considered amateurs. That's going to change the game for HBCUs as well, who don't come in with a lot of the capital that a lot of the Power 5 institutions or D1 institutions have. Their legacy dollars. HBCUs can start to compete if they know that players can be paid or compensated or can
so do you think that coincides with one another? You think that the NCAA is now opening up to pay players because they see that there's other avenues for these young African Americans, or do you think that it's?
I don't think it's directly tied. I don't think the NCAA is necessarily going to try to. I don't think they're looking at that yet. as being the threat or a reason to change. I think they just see that a lot of guys have been entertaining other options, especially basketball.
Yeah.
Going overseas, just skipping college altogether, or entertaining the G League or whatever LeVar Ball had going on.
I'm glad you said
those kind of options have been more appealing and dangerous to the NCAA than HBCUs. I think HBCUs may start to factor into that in the years to come, but not yet.
As another option. I got you totally. But LeVar Ball was a little bit ahead of schedule on that, a little revolutionary on that little idea of having his own little league for the kids that didn't want to go to college or whatever. Like that was a smart idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a business, how much he profited from it, but the concept of paying players to be, they're basically pro athletes, I think because people are making so much money off of them in that like image. Actually, I think down in Florida they just passed a law to pay the players, college athletes. Yeah. So that's big. I don't know how much that that they're going to get back on that, but it's a step for
Only thing that really probably was a knock on him is he didn't learn from history when it came to starting a new league. Anytime you start a new league, whether it's a complement to an already established pro league or a competition for a pro league, already established pro league, is you got to come in with a long-term game plan. You can't come in just looking to, I'm trying to win out the gate. You got to be trying to win 5-10 years down the road.
Yeah,
and I think he didn't come in with that mindset of marketing or strategizing or recruiting to get the level of talent that would really make it marketable. He's just like, I'm just going to go and.
But then again,
he ended up probably getting some talent, but for the most part, the league was, from all the reviews I've seen, it was unwatchable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
and the quality of play
sometimes it's not that, but it's the idea.
Yeah, he just put the idea out there.
It's the idea that he created.
And the idea was the threat to the NCAA.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he came right out the gates when, Lonzo and Jello came out of high school. He was like, they're going to the league or they're going overseas. Like he said right off the bat that they weren't going to play at college. So he was advocating that early on.
Yeah.
And to come up with that idea and that concept in the time frame that he did, whether, we don't know if he was something he had already planned or not, that a scheme or whatever.
I still be wanting to know where they got their money from. I know he played in the league for a second and he had some kind of ventures, but the way he had them boys living and where he got them living, I'm like,
LA, man. We don't know what his wife do either, and let's just say he probably made some good investments or whatever. Well, let's just say that,
we'll leave it at that. No, I ain't bashing the man. I just wonder. I ain't bashing.
Because I'm not saying I know a father, but I don't agree with a lot of his practices as far as like raising or how he goes about.
How he speaks a lot of times.
Yeah, on his kids. Especially like they're grown now. They're all grown men now. You don't see them as much, but I think he was kind of like maybe a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah.
With how he was, his approach a few things. But everybody got their own kids that raise their kids their own way.
Right.
If we ask them my opinion, which is my show, co-hosting, I can say my opinion on how I feel. That's my facts on how I feel.
Definitely. And this is just how we rap, man. Like we'll just ramble, we'll go, and we'll just speak from where we coming from, whatever research we done or whatever we're seeing on TV and culture, and we just gonna speak about it. So hitting the rewind button. Went to school in Arkansas, went to HBCU like we was talking about. Met my wife down there. Both of us are from St. Louis, but we didn't know each other prior to that. So I graduated, came home. She graduated, came home. We got together. Been married for going on 3 years in August. This is June 2020. Time is flying, but that's kind of just a background of me. Came from a pretty good household, Didn't have a lot of struggles or challenges, just to be real. Maybe I don't have my hood card or my street card, but I think I got a good grasp on the black experience, at least from my perspective. I still get profiled. I still get,
the
racial injustices and, women clutching their purses when I walk by and all that nonsense. So
I actually had a good experience, man. The fact that you said women clutching their purses, I had an experience with a black woman. I was out at Marshall's, maybe about a week and a half ago, maybe close on 2 weeks ago. It was an older woman, and she came up to me and just approached me, was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" But just came to me, was like, it's good to see, a black man, in the store, and I don't feel threatened. I don't know if it was how, your energy and who you are, that has a part of, how people perceive you, or can, I feel your energy plays a part in how people receive you.
Yeah.
But, so she came up to me, and man, ended up having a great conversation with this lady though. But just,
you didn't have your crack that day.
You said what?
You didn't have your crack hit that day.
No, I had no crack hit.
Okay, that day.
That day, I didn't have no hit of crack. Hit of the crackers.
Hit it of the crack hit.
No, I didn't have a hit of the crackers that day.
Because your vibe could have been different.
Yeah, but no. Everything was.
This is a joke for those who don't know
all jokes. All jokes.
He does not do crack.
No crackers.
And I'm not crack shaming, since we're creating phrases. It's not crack shaming.
Crack-ish.
Crackish.
But no.
Like blackish.
Yeah. She was dope, man. It was a dope experience, man. She had to be like she had some my age. She probably like in her 50s or whatever. But we have to protect the women in our culture, bro. It is kind of off topic, but I'm saying
it ain't off topic. It's all on topic.
It facts. But she was really, really dope, man. I got her number. Her name is Miss Mary. Mama Mary, what I call her.
You got a number.
I did. Because she was just dope, man. Like, she was caring. She cares for us, black men, in our culture.
In a motherly sense.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly, bro. And
I thought you meant like in the...
No, not like that.
In the cougar sense.
No, nothing like that. The vibe was, our culture.
Yeah.
And she was putting me on game. She sends me like articles all the time now. People to look into, research and stuff like that, bro. So,
having that kind of motherly figure, mentor type figure, I think that's something that we losing as we start to experience different levels of success, and we're becoming more global society. A lot of black people are moving all over the country and the globe, and community is starting to get lost. It was a lot easier back in the day for our parents' generation. They could, go outside and,
the person up the street can keep an eye on their kids.
You feel me? Like it's an elder there, or it's a mentor there, or somebody
they can run to the store,
got the local business
out in front of the house.
Right.
They can run to the gas station, feel comfortable that the next door neighbor is like not gonna
hold it down for a quick second. Yeah.
Or if something happens, they gonna call them, or or they can like you said, take care of the situation right there.
And now we got it to where everybody's a lot more kept to self and bubbled in. Like, don't touch my kids, don't yell at my kids, or my kids ain't going outside. Like, so everybody's. I mean, and you should be protective of your family. Don't get me wrong, but there's no real pursuit of that community in the neighborhoods, or even with families. A lot of families are just they ain't rocking with their family members. Yeah, so I agree with you. Like, finding
gems,
people who's willing to put that energy
gems,
out,
bro. Those are gems. Like, you don't find genuine people that care about you and your well-being, or as a person. Just what I mean? Genuinely, just because you're a being, you're here. You know what I mean? So when you come across people like that, bro, you got to take that experience, and that's why I left out the store, got a piece of paper and a pen out my car, and went back in and wrote my number down and gave it to her. And then she wrote hers down and gave it to me. But I couldn't let that experience of meeting that person, like, this is just a beautiful person, man.
Most definitely.
And I think that a lot of more people need people like her in their lives. Just in, like you said, in a motherly sense, or just in somebody that care about their people.
Most definitely. Okay.
I met her. She had a dashiki on and everything.
She was really about that.
She a rider. Like,
she was really about that.
Miss Mama Mary, she a rider, dog, and she was really, really, really dope.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself, Yano. Let's hop into that.
Let's actually hop into it. So I'm not originally from St. Louis, so this factors into it. My mom, my family, I'm from Chicago, so I've been here. Man, next month, bro, it'll be 10 years.
Wow.
10 years that I've been here. So I've been here about 10 years. I came here with my daughter's mom. We met in college ourselves. Moved here. I didn't know a soul here, man. I didn't know not one person in St. Louis before I moved here. So I didn't know a soul here. And when I got here, it was just me and my daughter's mom. We separated about 3 years in. That's when I started working at Ross, and I believe that's when we met, man.
Yep.
That's what
2013.
Yeah, so that's when we met. Or got close, like closer, like I said, man, you like my brother, so this came my brother a little bit closer to around that time frame. But growing up in high school, I moved around a lot, but I went to 4 different high schools. Didn't get kicked out of none of them. But the only thing that I did always stay into or do besides like listen to music or be into the music was sports. That's all I did.
Yep.
Stayed into it. Baseball, football, basketball. Always trying to play. Always involved, trying to do it. So that's when, I did football, basketball in high school, AAU, all of that. You know what I mean? So I know the experience. Didn't go pro or college or nothing like that, but I definitely kept up with everything and still familiar with how everything works.
Okay. I meant to touch on that myself. Obviously, with us talking about sports, we're coming from athletic backgrounds ourselves, growing up sports fans ourselves. So me personally, I played football since I was 4 years old. Played throughout my schooling up until college. I tried to get on the team there, but that's a whole nother episode, a whole nother story.
I did too. Had my experience.
Played baseball as a kid. Stopped playing in high school. I started to wrestle in high school. Really got into that. And I actually play tennis, for those who don't know. I'm going to be trying to put some tennis stuff out there in the future.
What y'all don't know is Keys gets down on the tennis court. That's what y'all don't know.
Ain't
like,
no joke.
on the low, like, y'all may not, like, ever catch it. Actually, on the court in person, some of y'all might. Some, if you do know, low-key.
Might put some video out there in the future.
Little footage, y'all. If I find some, I may drop some of that.
It's in the vault somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to find, if I find some, I may drop that for y'all.
But I played my senior year of high school instead of running track because I was slow as dirt. And I was like, I've been wanting to try to play because I seen Serena get down. And obviously that made me start liking tennis for a different reason.
Oh, yeah.
Or start watching it for a different reason. But that's neither here nor there.
I totally understand.
Good entry point, you know. Nothing wrong with a little cat suit action.
Yeah,
and then just watching her play. That cat suit.
Oh, I remember that one. It just popped in my head what you said, like you snuck that in there.
Man,
I remember
2002 U.S. Open. If you don't know, YouTube it.
Oh my God.
2002 U.S. Open. And I bet you don't even have to say her name. That's gonna be the first thing that pops up. Cat suit, boy. Anyway, that's when I started liking or being interested in tennis, and then I started watching her dominate and her actual gameplay, and I started to get a more of appreciation for like technique and strategy and everything that went into the game.
Since you brought up Venus, I ain't gonna cut you off.
You straight?
Listen,
he gonna cut me off a lot, yeah.
I will, because I have random questions. So I'm riding in the car, right? I'm riding in the car. I'm listening to the radio the other day, and they were comparing the girl, the Nunes, the MMA fighter, Amanda Nunes. Okay. They were saying that her run on sports right now is one of the most dominant runs we've ever seen.
In sports.
I want your opinion, because I know how big of a fan of Serena you are. But they not only compare, like they mention her verbatim, Serena, but I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't have enough background on Amanda Nunes, to be honest. I had to circle her back around and speak on that.
Okay.
I have heard her name frequently in women's MMA. I've heard her name mentioned frequently.
She's beating like Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate.
Yeah.
The cyborg chick, she beat her.
I could say it's comparable to what Serena's done in her career. I think that I won't say I respect Ultimate Fighting more. I just think it's different. Obviously, you got the threat of you're having your face kicked in versus hitting a tennis ball, which I'm not going to do. I'm in no way discounting the how difficult tennis is.
Yeah, but I think in both sports, what you can agree on, you can't deny is you have to be a tactician.
Yeah,
in both sports.
Absolutely. To be at that level,
you have
champion of the world.
You have to be an elite tactician.
You getting the best of the best from around the globe, not just your country, your region. So, and it's an individual sport. You can't lean on anyone else.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying though. Like they were saying that she's so dominant right now that they're not questioning can someone beat her. They're asking the question now is can someone win a round against her?
That's like Floyd.
Yeah,
towards his end.
Exactly.
I have to look into that. I'm not going. I try to not be biased.
Exactly.
Because the bias in me is like, there's no woman athlete better than Serena currently in history.
That's why I asked you the question.
Yeah.
That is why I posed you the question.
But because I don't have no perspective on her, I can't dismiss her.
Because when I heard it, that's the first person I thought. I don't know. That's a little steep.
Hold on. That's a little steep. I think it's also a thing too. Like with me, like speaking on tennis, like it's just not. In black culture, it's just not there.
People don't talk outside of you.
Don't talk
nobody
about it.
I know.
I'm the only person I know that really will. You know, I know a lot of black people who play or that are fans of the sport, but we are in our own. You know what I mean? There's no casual tennis fan out there.
Yeah.
There might be some people that watch the U.S. Open once for about 30 minutes, but it's long.
Nobody that's not following.
You know what I mean?
Like, oh, this is coming up. This match is coming up. This tournament's coming up.
It's long matches. They can go over 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes go 5 hours, and then you got multiple matches throughout tournaments. It's just a different format, so it's not really appealing to this microwave culture and black people.
Exactly.
Versus UFC, where everybody can relate to fight.
Yeah.
We can look out this window.
Knock a nigga out.
Yeah, we can relate to that. So if you see somebody dominating that 5-minute rounds for 3-5 rounds, it's easier to understand or kind of give appreciation for it.
To the eye.
I had to think on it, but Serena's still the GOAT to me.
Yeah, in her sport, definitely, hands down. Like,
and for what she had to deal with to get in and then get to this point, because when she was coming into the sport, it was still borderline racist. I ain't gonna say borderline anymore. We know that racism exists.
Yes.
Has existed and probably will continue to exist on every level, institutionally, in every aspect of American culture. So I'm not gonna say probably anymore. It was racist. She was getting called monkey, nigger, everything in the book. She wasn't allowed in the country club. She was discouraged from all of that. She ended up boycotting the tournament because she was getting so much racist stuff from fans for like 20 years and then just came back. So, I don't think Amanda has that. You know what I mean? That's probably, that'd be one element of separation.
And
then
we gotta say this.
I don't know what her struggle was that could be comparable to that. You know what I mean?
She has losses. Like, she has a couple losses.
Yeah.
But I think people sometimes are prisoners of the moment, and I think that is something that just happened recently. Right now, we used to think
Ronda was that.
Yeah,
when Ronda was on top,
Ronda's not even.
She's the best. She got knocked out.
She's lost. She lost. I think she got too confident.
Yeah,
that's for another. Because I think Ronda was like when Ronda was in her prime and on her game, and this is somebody that watches. I watch UFC.
Yeah.
I'm talking men.
She was untouchable.
Yeah, men or women for a little period, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple guys, and I'm like, I know she'll beat their ass. In on the other side.
Yeah.
Not to say like, okay, women. I know they're not as physically as strong as men. Not to go into nothing like that. And talking weight class.
Yeah.
But I know it's a couple guys that I just know she
probably
would have worked them out because she of her skill. Her skill set. She's a beast, bro. But Amanda Nunes, she didn't beat a couple people, man, but she got some losses too. Yeah. So I'm not on the hype train, and I didn't see the last fight, but this is what I heard on the radio. So that's how we got on that topic, bro.
I got you. Rewind. So, played tennis in high school. I ended up walking on at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, UAPB. Got a scholarship there to play tennis. And that's what really started off my passion for the game. But I like all sports. Like, I watch a little bit of everything. I'm into a little bit of everything. I don't really follow every sport. Like, you'll find out as we go. Mariano is like the encyclopedia of a lot of these different sports. I mean, and has a knowledge base that I really respect.
I get that a lot, bro.
UFC,
but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. Like, I feel like I just retain you.
You retain. You got good retention, bro. My memory is trash. Yeah. You know, I wanted to be better. I'm gonna start taking some pills or something.
No crackers.
What is it? No crackers. What did they have? What was that? They had that commercial where it was talking about Focus Factor. I need some of that. Yeah.
Nah, I ain't saying.
You don't remember Focus Factor?
Mm-mm.
They used to promote the hell out of that in the 90s.
No.
I think it was probably just like some Kool-Aid powder and some pill packages that they used to sell.
You know the little pack, you had a little stick.
Yeah.
With the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid stick, yeah. That's probably all it was. And then they put focus factor on there.
Factor.
It'll increase your focus by 187%.
And
we ain't heard about it since.
Ain't nothing but no Adderall.
But yeah, man, both athletes, we both are fans of sports. Personally, I have a whole story about that team that used to be in St. Louis that is no longer in the NFL. They're now in LA, doing the LA thing, just like LA is.
You know what's funny, bro?
Scrubs.
I just seen a picture. You seen a picture with Cam and Todd Gurley? I was saying that I guess they were working out, but Gurley didn't look like he been not bulked up, but he looked a little heavy.
Yeah.
I seen a picture like this morning. He looked a little heavier.
Nah, I ain't seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm a fan of St. Louis sports teams, so I think it's safe to say Mariano's a fan of Chicago sports teams. It's just kind of bred into who they are. They don't have to worry about teams leaving in the middle of the night for sunnier coasts and more money.
That has hurt many different. There's a lot of cities that feel your pain.
Still painful. And what made it worse was that as a football being my primary sport that I'm a fan of, I didn't get onto their bandwagon until they started losing. I wasn't really a big Greatest Show on Turf fan as a kid. I've always been a contrarian though.
What?
So I was rooting for the Titans.
I love the Rams back then, boy.
I appreciate them now, but at the time I was just I did not appreciate what they were doing.
I did.
And then I hopped on the Eagles bandwagon, and they went to 5 straight NFC Championship games. And then I hopped on that's when I got on their bandwagon, the team that shall not be named. And then they had the worst 5-year stretch in NFL history. And then they left. And then I got on the Raiders bandwagon, which is the team I'm going to stick with the rest of my life.
What? Raider Nation team guy?
I'm not leaving that fan base. And then as soon as I hop on that bandwagon, they decide to move to Vegas. So I'm like, am I just bad luck? Is every team I root for, I got on their bandwagon, David Carr breaks his leg. I'm like, is it just meant for me to curse whatever team I root for to get close and fall?
Listen, St. Louis Battlehawks.
And then the Battlehawks.
Oh my God.
So originally this podcast was supposed to be Show Me the XFL. It was the idea that we crafted and we wanted to kind of build a platform on, put the time in. I drug my feet and really executing it. And by the time we really were ready to pull the trigger, here comes COVID.
COVID-19. Coronavirus.
Yep. It got real. XFL shut down. Man. Vince McMahon got sued. Employees got fired. Yeah, people stealing stuff out the building.
That's big time though. Like, that's crazy.
So let's talk a little bit about COVID. Just what impact that had on sports and culture prior to all the stuff that we're experiencing now. Like,
I think
it caught us out of nowhere. They said it had been around since like December or November last year in China or somewhere on the West Coast, but we really didn't start getting
the waves
hit with it or the waves of it until like March. Mm-hmm. Like, how did that impact you as far as just day-to-day work? Or
I got sick in December.
So you gonna be one of those black people that said, I had COVID in December. I think I had it in December.
I'm not, no. I'm not saying that. But I don't, how long you done known me, bro?
Yeah.
How often have I told you, I got sick? Yeah. And over the years you know me. Yeah. How many times I was like, bro, I was sick?
I legitimately thought, like, did I get sick in November or December? Was I under the weather? I had to think about it. For it to have been out as long, they're saying that you could be asymptomatic and still have it, or you could show symptoms and it not be COVID. Exactly. So it's just we're in this space of just like, what the hell is going on?
Exactly, bro. And I was like one of the first people on my job that really got sick. Like, and it came out of nowhere. I started getting the chills out. I remember I was at work, bro. Got the chills out of nowhere. Body started aching. Yeah. Started to develop a cough. Head was hurting. Got home, got straight in the bed, bro, and then he was done. I could not move out my bed for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible that a lot of people had it before there was a name to it or any kind of explanation. Mm-hmm. Probably just called it the flu or just general sickness, but it's hit the country hard. It's hit the world hard. I think because Americans are so used to freedom, we fought against the measures that probably were best for us in terms of staying at home, wearing a face mask,
washing your fucking hands already.
Yeah, so stuff that we should have already been doing and been open to practicing. Other countries have brought their numbers down. They flattened the curve a lot earlier, and our numbers continue to spike.
Because we don't listen here. Everybody wants to
is the First Amendment.
Yeah, they don't not follow the rules, do their own
This is America.
Not thinking for the other person.
Fly the rebel flag.
Man.
That's a whole other topic.
Exactly.
But we'll get to that. But yeah, so COVID hit the country hard. You didn't stop working, did you?
No, I did. I
stopped working for a second.
Yeah, bro. But the quarantine, I feel like, helped me out a lot mentally.
Yeah. I don't think we start this podcast without the quarantine.
Yeah, I really don't, man. But we had already had the idea, the concept, everything was already in play. But I think the focus was then there to drive this through. But man, it helped me out a lot though. I feel just in the mental space to even create this. So I feel like it was a blessing in disguise. It was kind of rough early on a personal level, on other things. But just because everything's closed, I wasn't working, things going on. But I also felt like things were going to be better. Things were going to go good as well. So I was, it's kind of hard when you struggle with things. But then again, if you have a feeling or things are coming and on the way, you got to stay tight.
Most definitely. Keep your faith. You know what I mean? I did continue to work. I ended up getting moved to working from home, which I'm still doing now. It's a blessing and a curse. Oh man, so I'm staying with my dad. No shade. It's a whole experience. Just put it like that. If you know, you know. And also being married, my wife and I decided to stay with my dad indefinitely as we try to stack up for a house. But I didn't really get serious about that until last fall. So now we're in position. Yeah. Actually, as of today.
Congratulations, bro.
As of today,
congratulations to my dog.
Got an offer accepted on the house. So
congratulations to my dog. Man.
Trying to finalize that, and hopefully we'll have our own crib, our first home by the end of next month, by the end of July, and that'll give us that space to really maximize our artistic expression. With the podcast and just other stuff that we want to really get into. Exactly. You'll be seeing that beautiful space soon, hopefully. But yeah, man.
Speak to existence, bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You already
I think it's working that way. I had to mature a lot, just get a little personal. Wifey and I are both artistic, but my wife is a nurse, so that's a whole nother element, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like with COVID, she works directly with or in the space of patients who have COVID. Mm-hmm. And she ended up having to move out of my dad's crib. Yeah. And how do
y'all working on that now? As far as I know it's kind of dying down, but is that you guys still have measures that you guys keep?
I feel like it helped us. Like you were saying, quarantines help you put some things in perspective. Like with her having to leave and us not being around each other on the daily, it definitely helped us start dating again. Helped us start looking at things from a different perspective, appreciating each other more. And it's really felt like every weekend we're house hunting and we're just hanging out and pretty much dating. And it's been like that for like 2 months. And it's been, for us to have been together 6 years overall, almost 3 years married, it feels like we're back in year one.
Hey, that's dope.
So it's kind of a blessing in disguise to have that space and have that time to really reflect on stuff and look in the mirror and check ourselves and like, okay, what was I tripping off of? Was that really that big of a deal? You know what I mean? And like you mentioned, I don't really have that buffer anymore between my dad. Yeah. So he'll come in the room, put his hands on his hips, and be like, "Yep, it looked like it's about to rain today." Or he'll be like, "Yep, you hear about what they said about Dak?"
Oh my God!
Talk about that every day. I care nothing about the Cowboys. Yep, you see what Jerry Jones said? He ain't say nothing. So, my dad's is. You'll hear us talk about my dad has a very unique perspective on life and sports that I had to endure. while I'm living there. That would be over.
This is all love, though. It's all love. It's all love.
I love my dad.
It is hilarious to hear.
Yeah.
These stories.
So COVID is made that a lot of something that's unavoidable. It's for both of us. It's really put a lot of things in perspective and just made us look at things different. Mm-hmm. I come over to my boy Yano crib and he got the furniture popping, getting the fine china and the Indian accoutrement.
What? The feng shui.
Feng shui. You know what I'm saying? Got the incense and you know what I mean? Vibes, so everything's kind of been looking up for us. I know, I don't want to speak, insensitively to people who have really struggled during this time and who've lost jobs and didn't have places to lean on or resources to take care of responsibilities or family. Like, my prayers go out to y'all and really hoping that the economy bounces back and that you bounce back if you're in that situation, you're listening, that you'll be able to get to some sense of normal. We'll never get back to where we were.
Yeah. I feel like I said it like every other day.
You know what I mean? But we'll establish something new, and it's probably gonna be better, God willing.
Mm-hmm. So I had that conversation yesterday, though, man. I feel like sometimes it's crazy as it may seem, and as bad as it may sound coming out my mouth right now. You just really got to think about this. Sometimes things have to be. It always has to be bad before there's something good.
That's true.
You got to just think about it. Something has to be destroyed for something to be built.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in just a figuratively speaking right now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But that's when you have to be torn down, broken down to figure out who you are again or what's going on to create something new, something better. You have to be that whatever it was has to die. You need to think about yourself. If you make a changes personally, that person has to die for you to be something greater, something new. And so think about what's going on in COVID and everything like that. Like a lot of stuff has to be changed, and a lot of stuff had to stop. And
I've seen like comments on social media about Mother Nature
cleansing itself,
and that being kind of like the repairing the ozone layer being repaired.
We're overpopulated,
and like a lot of stuff as we've slowed down and really committed to self-isolation and quarantine, all these other buzzwords, but really just slowed down in life and spent more time not going through the normal day-to-day. Our normal day-to-day has been damaging the earth. Mm-hmm. And we start to see as we slow down, the earth starting to heal itself. It makes sense that it does the same effect for us. Mm-hmm. I know me personally, I grew up, I kind of got isolated from a lot of danger and negativity and stuff like that. So I never really had to experience a lot of bad, for lack of a better phrase, in order to learn. I would learn from other people effing up. Yeah, I would see other people. Oh, he's on crack. I don't want to do that. Write that in my notes.
Take that right off.
Strung out. Okay. She is you know what I mean. Just going down there.
Stuff you don't know.
I would just see it and I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But there's a greater lesson learned from experience.
Yeah, and it is.
Being able to slow down is definitely helped that out a lot. So another thing that's really been happening, man, obviously more recently and more, I guess, more impactful on us as black men is the death of George Floyd.
Yeah.
Not that in any way he's the most important one or the least or like the most relevant, but the most, I guess, impactful on culture as a whole and society as a whole.
Yeah, it really created an uproar.
It opened a lot of white people's eyes and institutions. Quote unquote eyes. We'll see if their eyes really open.
We're having this conversation, bro.
But that doesn't account for all of the laundry list of names of lives that have been lost.
Police brutality,
white vigilantes who just want to
racism, whatever.
Exactly.
Just anything just because of the color of your
the
skin,
barbecue Beckys and whoever just wants to call the police, anyone who wants to harass or hurt or kill black people just because. Like it really, I think the light has been shined for a lot of white people. I think it genuinely has opened a lot of white people's eyes up to that happening, oblivious to what they know. more than ever before.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of white people now who legitimately are more aware and alert to these things and willing to speak out against it or really put their 2 cents in versus years and decades past.
And I think
that's my hope. I hope that's genuine. That's what it looks like.
That is transitioning. I'm gonna say this because I had a conversation about this yesterday. But I'll say this. I believe because I don't know if people talk about it, I haven't heard, but because someone that lived in Minnesota before, I know the culture that's up there. It's a very it's a melting pot. It's very diverse. You got a lot of different cultures that live there. So when you have multiple people, multiple different races and ethnicities and religions that are there or in a certain place, you got to think also Minnesota's up north. A lot of this other stuff that's happened have been down south or on the west coast and stuff like that. You got to think back in history's time, like what happened. We went and we moved up north, so things were a little bit easier up there for us and more acceptable. I think that due to like I said, the culture, the race that's up there now, and the time frame we're in, a lot more people were going to rally and be back up,
more open minded
to standing up and fighting for the cause. So I think the location and where it happened and the time was like very pivotal. Yeah, to say the least, very pivotal. Like I said, that's because I lived up there, so I know people that live there. My brothers and my younger brothers and sisters still live in Minnesota. So I definitely know. And I like I posted on my Instagram, my IG the other day. I come from a mixed background. I got mixed siblings.
I knew you was Mexican.
My daughter's mom thought I was Mexican.
I knew you was Mexican.
She thought I was Mexican when she first met me, dog. She thought I was Hispanic or something. It's crazy. I'll tell you this story.
And I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. Just since we're talking about race, the quote unquote race. I don't really use that term, but for the sake of everybody comprehending, it's okay. White people, it's okay to talk about race. Just don't be racist.
Facts. Like,
you know what I mean? Like you can talk about there are comedians I like, or just people I know who make jokes. Some of my old coaches or teammates make jokes about black people or other ethnicities. Just don't be racist. Or like just learn the line, and you learn the line by interacting with, and hanging out with people, having conversation, having communication. But if you don't have a relationship with black people or other cultures, and then you
not gonna be able to
interact with them and talk about them in a joking or derogatory way, don't be surprised if you get smacked or you get backlash. Develop relationship. I think what we're seeing is that, like you mentioned, in Minneapolis or other areas, Minneapolis has been a good display of what it should look like. There's been almost more white people protesting and marching.
That's what I'm saying.
Than black people, which is, I mean, I don't think in any other point in history that dynamic has been like that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So it's encouraging. Obviously, you don't want to be naive to just believe that everything is going to change overnight, or that a lot of people are sincere about the efforts that should come afterward. But it feels like it feels promising. It feels organic, more like hopeful and organic. Like the future generations and some of the older generations of like white culture start to buy into really pursuing change and changing themselves.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It has to happen, bro. It has to happen.
And then we see athletes that's out there too. I think that's as far as how we connect that to sports, like it's encouraging to see a lot of athletes that probably in years past would be radio silent just because they don't know what to say, or they don't want to risk their careers or whatever bags they got.
The NFL even came out with a statement, bro.
It was beautiful.
But you know how huge that is?
Beautiful.
Like just in the sports world, they've never stood to make a statement.
I think they would not have done that if we didn't have Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes and all these other prominent stars
speak out and
collab and speak out, because it was like on the heels of that. Like, okay, well, let's scramble and get our statement together. Like, because we tired, man. Mm-hmm. Tired. TIED.
Tired, boss. For real.
But it took them speaking up, because if I'm just trying to think of a random roster bubble guy. Who you can think of? What's the name? I was trying to think of a random name.
Scrubs.
Zach Stacy.
Woo! Zach Stacy, he throwback.
If Zach Stacy decided to make a statement,
no shade to Zach Stacy. Zach Stacy when he was playing for the Rams,
that was my guy.
He was a dog. I remember I told you, I'm like, hey, Zach Stacy.
When Ty Gurley got drafted, I was pissed.
You were. I remember that.
I was at Ballpark Village watching, and we had the 10th pick, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a lineman or we're gonna get a receiver, and we got a running back, and I'm like, we got Zach Stacy. I was ignorant, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
I remember that. Bro.
Hindsight is 20/20.
Yes.
And everybody criticized me for feeling that way, but I just didn't know. And I had to be shown. That first year was like, oh, okay, that's Ty Gurley.
Coming off the ACL, he almost
off the ACL.
Yeah,
he had 2 games where he had like 50 yards total, and I was like, see, I told y'all. Then he busted out with 160.
I remember that.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's Ty Gurley. Okay,
man, dog, I remember that.
So I'm not trying to talk about Zach Stacy. I'm just saying if a guy that didn't really have the star power or the voice made statements or did what he did, like with the Malcolm Jenkins is a Pro Bowl athlete, but he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but
he's not Deshaun Watson.
Super Bowl champ.
Super Bowl champ.
And he's a big actor.
Walter Payton, candidate, I believe, but he wasn't. He didn't yet have that star power.
Yeah.
That
he's not like J.J. Watt or something.
Yeah, like that. You hear guys like that speak. Now the NFL is like, oh yeah, we gotta. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of guys speaking with big names, what about Drew Brees? His comments.
Oh, Drew Brees.
Should we go there?
So we both are fans of Undisputed. First Take.
Yeah.
For me, not so much. I fell off of First Take when Skip left. I'm a big Skip fan outside of his LeBron hate. But on Undisputed, they talk a lot about how if we expected that from Drew, it wouldn't have been so much backlash. But we didn't expect that from Drew Brees. We expect that from like a Dabo Sweeney or from Donald Trump.
Why don't we though? Because of he where he plays and
his vibe just seemed different. No. It's really more the vibe, like the energy. He never really gave that energy of like.
But look, nobody gave the energy. Nobody. That's the point.
What you mean?
No white quarterback has come yet, or nobody.
Tom Brady gives me that energy. If Tom Brady came out and said all lives matter, I'd be like, oh, yeah. I expect that from Tom.
Listen, he can give you that. I'm saying, but nobody's came out and done it though.
True.
Nobody's done it though.
True.
And it's a couple younger
Drew, but that's why I think one, we should have more grace for Drew, and 2, he's really speaking from ignorance because I don't think he.
Are we making excuses for Drew Brees?
I'm not making excuses for Drew Brees. I'm saying I think the reason he said it publicly is because he legitimately didn't think that he was stepping in some shit.
But that's what I'm saying.
Until he stepped in it.
That's what I'm saying. The
other quarterbacks know that they'll be stepping into some shit, which is why they don't say anything.
But this is what I'm saying. Is don't step in shit and then be like, oh, I stepped in shit, so I'm sorry for doing that.
No, he said a lot more than that.
Yeah,
he was coming. I think that's why I said I think he was coming from a position of ignorance, not stupidity. Not I'm gonna choose to just be a racist. I think he was legitimately just like blind to like.
It was bigger than what
I'm saying. Some dumb shit right now.
Okay.
That's
I'm gonna go back in.
But his actions will have to prove that out.
And that's
in the months and years to come.
Not only that, but it's okay. Even if say okay, cool, we give him a pass, but it's still to this point no white quarterback, no quarterback.
They know better. They know the rules. They know the code.
And said, yo, like I said, he even got white quarterback. They got video of Drew Luck from Denver on the bench singing. Young Jeezy on the bench.
Hey, that got me amped though.
Yeah, and I like Drew Luck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When he was bombing, I was like, I don't really like
put on for my thing.
Yeah, he gotta be hype. I ain't gonna lie.
What I'm saying? He was on the bench by himself, but he was lit.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you can like our culture, you can play this game with us,
what are you
can do this. But when it comes to the important shit,
right?
What really matters, like how you gonna really be my teammate? How you gonna be my brother, my rider? And then when it comes to when I'm not in this uniform, and what's going on in my day-to-day life, I know, to a certain degree, my life shouldn't affect yours. Yeah. But if we call ourselves brothers or we call ourselves a team, if something happens to my partner, my teammate, that's going to affect me because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if you don't have a bond with your teammates, your partners, whatever, you're not able to relate on a certain level, you know what I'm saying? I think you can't. You know, it's fate. You know, I mean, I guess you got to be on the team. You know, you don't got to like everybody on your team. It is what it is.
So I'm gonna read a little bit of what Drew said, just for context. So he said, "I will never agree," and this is quote from him. "I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me tell you what I see when I feel, or what I feel when the national anthem is played." I'm paraphrasing. Mm-hmm. His two grandfathers fought in World War II. One in the Army, one in the Marines. Both risked their lives. So when he stands with his hand over his heart, looking at the flag, singing the national anthem, it brings tears to his eyes. He thinks about their sacrifice. Not only that, but those who sacrificed throughout the civil rights movements and all that has been endured by so many people.
Patriotic for the people, but in his grandparents.
He measures out his patriotism more from a white perspective than a black perspective. But he acknowledges the black perspective. He just doesn't know he's ignorantly putting white people above black people as more important.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus just saying like this isn't important at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are white people that'll be like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm not even trying to understand, because he circled back around. He got chewed out by Malcolm Jenkins, got called out by Kamara, and Michael Thomas, and Cameron Jordan. All his teammates let him have it.
He was like, he need to shut the fuck up.
And within a week, he said, "I completely missed the mark." Completely.
Yeah.
And the context of a lot of his tweets that followed and his Instagram posts,
you know, they was
way different.
They was making fun of that one post he made, like right after when he made a statement, and it was like two hands holding.
Oh yeah, he messed the mark again. And Drew Brees is an accurate quarterback. He's not used to missing the mark.
So he out throwing interceptions. He threw two back-to-back pick sixes.
He was throwing some Tim Tebow balls with them comments.
He threw two back-to-back pick sixes, sir. They got house, both of them.
Both pick sixes, exactly. So in a lot of topics, I'm usually that voice that's kind of on a different side of the majority, or just like being more willing to be objective or hear the other side. Mm-hmm. I honestly think that if Drew was, now a lot of these channels won't name names. Like Shannon Sharpe would be like, "Oh, if some other guys would have said it, I would agree," but he wouldn't name nobody. Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. Yeah. We go down the list. Yeah. Matt Ryan, even though he donated money, we don't know where the money going to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they're Big Ben. I think it's pretty safe to say we know what Big Ben said. You know what I mean? Like so, it's certain guys that if they say what Drew said, we know they're not really trying to get understanding or pivot from, "Oh, I missed the mark," or "I have misunderstood." I think
you know that'll be them.
Yeah, like no, this is what you really. And I think this is what Drew really felt until he got confronted.
The backlash. Yeah.
So I don't know. It might be genuine apology. It might just be covering up so he can protect his legacy.
My thing is, like I said, nobody's stepped up to this point ever.
Yeah.
You know, even been a voice of any other race coming up to step up. But then again,
all the white quarterbacks that have said stuff as of recent has been so generic, super generic.
I ain't even.
It's like our brothers and sisters. We got to be united and
unified.
Did see
like Nick Foles,
and Tannehill.
Miss me with
my guy Derek Carr. He let me down. He's like, "Oh, as a Christian, I know that." Bro, say the word black. Say the words killed by cops or killed by white people. White people have been wrong. Like, say those words.
We were wrong.
We messed up. Or this country history. Like, they're not saying that.
And then, hold on.
Goodell didn't mention Cap either, by the way.
Thank you. Because I was just going to get to that brother right there because it's killing me. No, not even on that part. Not even. It's the fact that all these coaches now, I wanted to sign him back in 2017. Yeah. Or I was interested.
See, what happened was we brought him in.
Out of here with that. Miss me with all of that bullshit.
We brought him in, but we already had a starter, and he's only a starter caliber, so we didn't want him to be a backup, so we let him go. But there's another team that wants him down, so
now everybody interested now. This motherfucker's 34 and fat.
He ain't fat, bro.
I'm just saying, like he's not.
He's not who he was.
Hey, come on, man.
He's not.
He's not in no football shape. Like that's like telling your uncle, like, you know what I'm saying.
Back in the day, I used to throw that ball
over
the
you
mountains.
Know what I'm saying? Let's go get your uncle from, you know what I'm saying, from his high school days. Let's, you know what I'm saying, get him trained up, back in shape, and let's throw him back out there. No.
Yeah.
I think that is horrible. Like that now you want to, we wanted him back in 2017. That doesn't do us no good at all. That's a fucking slap in the face.
Revisionist history sounds good to the ignorant.
Man, say that again.
Revisionist history sounds good to the ignorant. If you know better, you know that anybody speaking about what they should have done or could have done is probably covering up so that they can continue doing what they did in the past.
Yeah, like that.
The NFL's throwing money at the problem now. They're throwing
donations,
$250 million. The breakdown on that for 32 owners is like $800,000 an owner. So I think I might be wrong with the math, but essentially it's a drop in the bucket for what they are worth as owners. And then again, we don't know where the money's going. None of them have to speak now because I donated money. What do I need to say?
I have a proceed.
Say this shit is wrong.
Yeah.
Say that racism is wrong, and we need to change policy so that racism doesn't continue in our institution. Say that as an owner.
Yeah.
And you lose respect from some of your, racist peers, but did you want their respect? Did you want respect?
But look, I'm glad you just said that as well, though, because it's something a topic in certain sports in general that we don't talk about is black ownership, bro.
Oh yeah.
Even in the NBA, you know who the only black owner is?
MJ.
MJ is the only black owner in the NBA, bro.
Yep.
And
that's the next step.
And we don't know if that's just off, it's not off clout or status on who he is, but he kind of...
It's off that bread he earned over his career.
But not only that, but he changed the game. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? So he earned it in every right.
Absolutely.
But
it's merit-based ownership. It's not so much just, I don't care, I'm just spending money so I can put this in my portfolio like Stan Kroenke, that female dog. But he's actually invested into the game. I think ownership is the next step. We mentioned HBCUs earlier. If it turns out to be an exodus in the next decade or two of top black players in these sports, basketball and football, going to HBCUs, that would change the landscape. Get in black ownership and at least black leadership, at the least, coaches, executives in these more of them in major sports. I think that would do a lot to just...
they it's one topic because we're talking about black ownership, and I know we're just talking about our sports fandom in general. The Bulls actually over this past season, because we're kind of in the transition, I guess. They fired their general manager and their one of their VPs, but one of the guys that they replaced was a black guy. So they have a black guy in management.
Okay.
In the office.
What's his name?
You threw me on the spot. I can't remember.
My bad.
Right now.
You brought it up.
I did, but I just remember that it was big. It's been a few weeks and I haven't, no sports are really going on. But I remember, when it came across and it was like, it's the first time that the Bulls has ever had, a black guy in management. Period. So
it's dope.
Yeah, they brought in this guy. His name, the guy above him, the actual guy who's running the show, his name Karnisovas or something like that.
Okay.
So he's a guy from Russia. He played against the Dream Team, Michael Jordan, stuff back in the day. But then he made it a point to bring in a guy of color.
Yeah.
That's to help run the show.
That's good.
Yeah, and then also I think they may be trying to get rid of the head coach when the season's over and possibly bring in another, a black coach. Head coach.
Yeah.
So changing the culture.
It's,
people are out there really trying to do that.
I think that, I won't say it's a conspiracy theory, but I think this is legit what's happening, what they are going to push for continuing to happen. We got a lot of white institutions, especially in sports, that aren't ready to allow black people to lead them. Will allow a few in as compliments, as tokens, to show, hey, we're diverse, we are open, here's the Rooney Rule. But not so much in the door that they are willing to lose control for who may be better candidates for jobs or better talent. Like, so for the put it like this, if all of the NBA players that are black, all the NFL players that are black left, retired, started their own league, just in any way, shape, or form, left the NBA, left the NFL. What's left?
Or just took a stand and
just protested, boycotted, and then we're not playing. What's left? And then no black players come in as replacements. Only replacements are other ethnicities. What's left? The quality of those products, is it the same? Is it as marketable? Is it as international? So I don't think that I think they're going to allow as much and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I think they're going to allow as much in as they can without letting go of control.
So we don't
of the final product.
Yeah, because we and this is something we got to talk about. I mean, we can attest to this just in our city alone as to what's going on. Just like with the George Floyd thing in particular, I'm gonna just revert it back to that.
Absolutely.
And seeing what it does done to our city, our community. You know, especially when it first happened, people rioting. I mean, we was the Ferguson stuff. I lived right in Ferguson when the Mike Brown stuff happened, bro.
Same.
It happened right around the corner from me. So seeing how people get in an uproar and seeing people tear up and destroy the city and stuff like that, man, that's the part of of this that I don't like to see. The destruction and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we're right up at an hour. Actually timed out pretty good. We're just giving y'all some of our thoughts, our background of how we feel about stuff in general, who we are, where we're coming from. Many, many more episodes to come. We hope and pray we're going to give y'all a rundown of some of the off-season moves of the NFL as hopefully they can start on time with their season and whether the NBA will come back.
Talking about starting back.
I think the NBA should wait.
You think so?
I think they should just wait because now you're creeping into
why
the beginning of the following season. It's going to be a shortened off season. What you think?
You know why not? I had this conversation yesterday, and then two things. It's too much money.
Yeah,
that is being lost.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's the bottom line.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. Even though they're closed, but they still probably have rent.
Yep, their projections are based off
you still got people that work inside of those buildings that probably need to get paid.
Yep. That's true.
So then you got those, and you got the players. You got the players' families that they got to take care of. That if they're not getting game checks, the people that around them that they have to support
who don't have the endorsements
or agents and personal trainers. You got to keep staying in shape.
All that versus health, though, man.
Think that when is the season coming back into place?
Yeah.
So we got to stay in shape. Keep up with yourself, and then you got to think. So the owners, if your players ain't playing,
they not making.
This is not up. So they not making money.
Yeah.
So it's being too much money being lost, not being in business. So that's why so much going on, and even in baseball, they talking about coming back or having their season, and people taking a pay cut and cutting the season down to get it going because it's so much money.
It's gonna be tough.
In sports, bro.
It's gonna be tough because I know a lot of guys is like, I ain't trying to risk my health.
Yeah, it's big time players that came out and said they don't want to go back.
We'll see what happens in the coming weeks and months. I personally, selfishly, I do want to see it come back. I want to see if the Lakers gonna push for it. I want to see LeBron get his 4th ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't really. Well, my team is forever out of playoff contention, so I'm a Wizards fan. Yeah. That's the only non-St. Louis sports team I root for outside of the Raiders.
Y'all help him.
Yeah. Hey, we got Bradley Beal.
Hey, Bradley Beal, that dude.
Shout out. Lock him up.
Shout out to Bradley Beal.
Get some talent around him.
Hey, I met him one day at when I was working at Bar Louie. Shout out to him. He pretty cool, man. He
seemed like a regular guy.
Yeah, he a dog. Bradley Beal a dog when on that court.
Shout out to Jason Tatum too, also from the Lou.
Oh yeah.
Soon to be top
JT.
5. Probably next year be top 5.
Top 5 in small forward or just in the league? In the league?
In the league. Next year. Could be.
We gonna have to say that for another topic next time, y'all.
We gonna cut it off. We had an hour, but just want to give y'all an intro, man. If you like what you're hearing, check out our pages, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. Like us. Show me sports. Yeah. Show me sports.
Show me sports.
Check us out. Like, comment, share the YouTube. We're gonna try to put all that stuff out there. Show me sports. You feel me? You feel me? We're gonna put all that stuff out there and share, like, comment, and most importantly share. That's how we grow. That's how we increase our platform. Let us know if you like it. If you got comments, tear us down, thrash us if you think it's trash. Put it in the comments. You know what I mean? Don't hide it.
Boo this man.
Boo. All right, we love y'all, man. We hope y'all staying safe. Be blessed, and we appreciate y'all for listening, man.